Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Lambo channel. XRP has jumped over the last 24 hours. Currently, at the time of recording this, it's up, a little over 4%, but it was a little bit higher just earlier. The whole market had been moving up, and within the last few hours in particular, there's been a little bit of a drop back down, nothing dramatic, still in the green over the last 24 hours. But, just a month ago, XRP, roughly a month ago anyway, XRP was 64 cents. Today, it jumped up to 86 cents. That's a 34% increase. That's crypto being crypto, folks. Volatile AF. I live for it. Now, too bad for the people that panic sold at 64 cents instead of taking a long-term approach to investing in crypto. People that respond like that are simply not going to make it. Also, we'll soon know. We'll finally know whether or not Bitcoin is going to make a new high this market cycle, as most analysts that I follow continue to believe that things are going to heat up in the markets. I'm going to share with you some perspective on that. But I found that I've always found that question to be super interesting to talk about. And people are divided on this, and understandably so. I get it. But I maintain either way, even so, let's say that the Bitcoin doesn't have another all-time high this market cycle. I don't care, because I'm highly confident that Bitcoin, at some point, it's going to move up. The rest of the market's going to follow. There will be an alt season, but I also won't be surprised if Bitcoin does have another all-time high. We'll have to see. Of course, speaking of market cycles, now, yeah, I got some things to say about that. So there's broad discussion in the world of crypto and social media lately on an interesting topic about market cycles. And there's a very popular analyst who thinks that the 4-year crypto market cycle may be a thing of the past. It may already be over. So maybe we're not going to see a blow. In fact, take a look at the headline. Here's one from you today. An article titled, "Here's Why Bitcoin Bear Cycles Are Potentially Over." And then here's a little subheading from a Cointelegraph article that says, "Stop waiting for the blow-off top," says analysts. So we're looking at more of like a grind to the upside, not characterized by the historically what we've seen in terms of Bitcoin price action, these 4-year cycles. We see parabolic blow-off tops and then massive drops to the downside. Now, obviously, Bitcoin today is still very volatile, so don't worry. The volatility is still here, which that's the reason I'm here. Like, that's the purpose of investing. But the argument is being made, and it's an interesting one, that's, hey, maybe a thing of the past. Now, I don't buy into that. I'll share with you my thoughts on it, but it's an interesting little thought exercise. But before going further, I also want to be clear, I don't have a financial background of any kind. I am not offering financial advice. So you definitely should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. I'm just an enthusiast who enjoys making YouTube videos about crypto topics, but just as a hobby and just for fun. XRP's at 84 cents as I record this. Bitcoin at $42,281. Market cap 1.93 trillion for the asset class, and Bitcoin dominance at 41.45%. So yeah, a little bit up. Nothing wildly different. Crypto still is mostly just ranging here. Here's a crypto fear and greed index at 26 out of 100. Indicating that market participants are not in extreme fear, but they are in fear mode. Because reasons. Folks, again, a month ago, XRP 64 cents. Today, it got up to 86 cents. I don't care. And at some point, it'll be lower, then it'll be higher again, it'll be lower again, it doesn't matter. This is a known quantity of investing in crypto that it's volatile. You should just look at the data. We got 13 years worth of crypto price action that tells you this is normal and it's not something to be afraid of. It's just a known quantity. I'll be afraid when that stops. That's when I'll be afraid, right? If it just magically stopped out of nowhere, I'll be like, okay, WTF, when the actual hell is going on right now. So speaking of market size, because you guys have seen charts like this happen to you, here's one created by XRP community member XRP Crow, who does all sorts of cool infographics for the XRP community and shares them on Twitter quite a bit. Here's one that he did titled "The Psychology of Crypto Market Cycle." And you can see as things are in the beginning phase of a cycle, price starts to go up a little bit. People are in disbelief, but it goes up, and then they start to feel hopeful, and then it goes higher, and then there's optimism, then there's belief it's going, then there's the thrill of it all, and at the very top, you can see where I'm circling right now, there's the euphoria. That's the point of maximum financial risk. So that's why for me, even though we won't know, next thing there's a big parabolic move to the upside, we won't know for sure where the tippy top is, but I'm not aiming for that because it's not reasonable or realistic to think that you're going to hit the top. I'm just going to sell just like a dollar cost average, and I'm going to sell a bunch of XRP on the way to the top, and hopefully I don't overshoot the top, but if I do, then maybe I do sell a little bit on the way back to the downside, as long hopefully it hasn't crashed much by then. But anywhere around there, I'm going to be a happy camper. I am not worried about selling the top. And even if I sell all my XRP and then the price goes 2 or 3, 4 times higher, whatever it is, than where I sold it, if I sold it, that means I'm happy with what I got and I took into account my entire financial situation, everything, that my entire net worth, and I'm factoring this in, I'll be fine. It's about taking risk off the table. If it becomes worth that much to me, yeah, I'm going to readjust for sure. There still will be some people that'll be like, you idiot, it could have had so much more. I'm just be like, yeah, you don't, no, you are the idiot, sir. You are the idiot. You do not understand the risk analysis that individual investors go through if you think that that's a bad move. But anyway, and then the downside, you can see people get complacent. Then there's anxiety, denial, capitulation, panic, and depression. This is the way this goes. Is this not going to happen anymore? I'm not so sure of that. Now, I do buy into the idea of, as the asset class matures, you're going to see less volatility. You will see over time decreased volatility, but that doesn't mean that there won't be tremendous opportunity. I'll just say that. So let's go to the Cointelegraph piece. So you can see what's being talked about here, because they're sharing analysis from Willy Woo, who is an analyst who does more so just like on-chain analysis. A lot of it is anyway. So he's got 1 million followers on Twitter, very well known. But check this out. As Cointelegraph reported, popular consensus argues that Bitcoin has in fact been sideways ranging not just this year, but all of last year as well, with $29,000 and $69,000 as the limits of the range. Price action in between is just consolidation, various well-known commentators claim. And after 15 months, questions are now being raised about whether Bitcoin needs to be re-evaluated within the context of one of its best-known traits, the 4-year price cycle. Based on the block subsidy halving, which occurs once every 210,000 blocks, roughly every 4 years, halvings have historically had a predictable impact on price performance. Bull market peaks, for example, have occurred the year after a halving, with bearish corrections following before the process slowly repeats. This time has been decisively different, as the end of 2021 failed to see the same blow-off top witnessed in 2013 and 2017. So pause, this is a point where it's worth citing that many analysts think that the structure of, if you compare to what happened in previous cycles, it's happening again. It's just dragging out longer. It's a longer time period. That argument is still in play. In fact, I'm going to share with you a comment from chart analyst Credible Crypto, because he doesn't buy into this argument from Willy Woo. And it's not that it's like a crazy thing to talk about or anything. It's not. I'm just not convinced at this point. Maybe he's right, but I doubt it. I really doubt it at this point. And by the way, I will say this too, as far as the halving is concerned, I mean, how much Bitcoin has been mined at this point? I could be wrong. Isn't it over 19 million out of the 21 million? It's whatever it is, it's the vast majority of Bitcoin that will ever be mined has already been mined. And the amount of the reduction with each subsequent 4-year cycle matters that much less. What's going to matter more is just more participants coming into the space. Eventually, like that's what it is. Like true organic growth and adoption of the crypto asset class. Like that's going to matter substantially more moving forward. But when Bitcoin was way less liquid, and there was more Bitcoin being mined, sure. Stands to reason when there was way less, or substantially less Bitcoin out in the open market. Okay, sure. I understand how that would be like more of a supply shock. Sure. But again, it matters less every single cycle. But anyway, piece continues, and this is a quote from Willy Woo. Actually, you know what? I'll just pull this up. This is the actual tweet from him. So here's the first one. So he had as a new comment. I'll pull that up in a second. But here's what was actually being talked about, and this was from October 2nd of last year, 2021. And I covered this. I think I did anyway. I remember reading it, but I believe I covered this back then when it was published, because it's always a fascinating topic to me. And this all matters given that XRP follows Bitcoin. No matter what coin you're interested in, you should be aware of this, because the market moves in tandem. So what happens with Bitcoin is going to directly impact your holdings of any other crypto, including XRP, which is the primary reason I'm so curious about this. But here's the tweet from October 2nd of last year. The last cycle. What will be this bull cycle top? In my opinion, there is no top. In the past, it was a predictable walk of demand/supply governed by a simple 4-year halving. Now it's an unpredictable walk of demand/supply from a complex ecosystem until we hit saturation. Well, one of the reasons that I'm not really buying into this is that I don't see that human behavior in the space in any sort of detectable way very different from what was going on even 4 years ago. People are still acting just as irrational. Fine, we didn't have a blow off top yet, but people are just acting as ridiculously as ever, and the volatility is clearly there. But FOMOing in, all the panic selling, all of that. And I just don't think until there's a come to Jesus moment when, when you do have another dramatic collapse, that would be the next potential catalyst to encourage humans to maybe behave a little bit differently, which is what we saw with the dot-com boom and bust a couple decades ago. That bubble didn't keep reinflating. With crypto, it's different because there's less certainty as to which cryptocurrencies deserve to be here, so there are reasons for that. With the dot-com boom and bust, people are like, oh yeah, I guess we were being idiots last night. Maybe don't behave like that in the future. Maybe don't behave like that. So we'll get there too, and that would be a sign of a maturation of the asset class, but I'm not seeing that. I'm not seeing any of that here. I'm seeing wild speculation, which makes my heart happy, Frank. Like, that is what I want. I want to see people doing all of that, because that's what causes the volatility, which makes the cryptocurrencies I hold worth more over time. Let the idiots out there do the speculating, the emotional buying and selling, and I'm going to sit around and do precisely nothing. That's my plan, is to do absolutely nothing. Because the people that get in and out of positions, the data shows that they lose here. So there was that. So that was the tweet. That was a tweet, and it's not like it's a crazy proposition. I just don't buy into the idea here. To think that we're never going to see another parabolic move up ever again, because that's what you understand. That's what that means. He's saying there would never be another parabolic move to the upside like that, because understand, if that happens, and this is not unique to crypto, you could be talking about stocks, anything that moves way up, there will be a retracement on the other side of that. And so yeah, if you're talking about not having an 80% pullback, fine. If we won't have an 80% pullback if we don't have a move to the upside. So that's what he's proposing effectively. That seems a little bit too out there for me. And then the other day, he retweeted his old tweet, and then this is his new tweet from March 20th this year. We're likely seeing the first signs of the last cycle thesis playing out. 3 relatively short bull and bear markets have transpired since the 2019 bottom already, i.e. no more 4-year cycles. I don't buy that, and neither does Credible Crypto, chart analyst Credible Crypto. In response to this, he shared this tweet with his 317,000 followers. He wrote, "Don't quite agree. If we get a parabolic blow-off 5th wave, there will be an equally aggressive drop that follows. But generally, yes, we can expect higher lows and higher highs to be put in over time, of course." And Credible Crypto, he still firmly believes that we will be seeing over $100,000 $100,000 Bitcoin this market cycle. Although as far as XRP goes, yeah, he thinks at least $10 this market cycle. So again, if you don't think there's going to be a drop like that, fine. If you don't think there's going to be a drop, then there's not going to be a parabolic move either, because they go hand in hand. But I don't see it. The humans are behaving the same as they always have. That's what the humans are doing. So what can we expect from Bitcoin in the short term? Well, here's a headline from the Daily Hodl, and they're actually covering some stuff from Credible Crypto. This was titled, "Crypto Analyst Says Hidden Signal in Bitcoin Chart Will Push Bitcoin to All-Time Highs as Bears Get Left Behind." A popular crypto strategist says that an overlooked signal in Bitcoin's longer-term chart is hinting that a new leg of the bull market will take Bitcoin to fresh all-time highs. This anonymous trader known as Credible Crypto tells his 317,000 Twitter followers that he's looking at the 3-week candles of Bitcoin and sees a divergence between price action and momentum indicator relative strength index, or RSI for short, suggesting that big long-term rallies are brewing. Yeah, so let me just pause to note. Think about what, and I'm going to go share with you this full analysis so you got all context. But in addition to this, don't forget, think about the on-chain metrics that I've been highlighting on this channel. Like, how have people been behaving differently than the bear market of 2018, right? Much differently. Bitcoin price goes down, and whales are accumulating it. I'm telling you, I've been highlighting all sorts of stuff like that for much of the last, 4, 5, 6 months, whatever it's been. You didn't see that several years ago. So how is this all over? How are we actually in a bear market? I don't know. Don't know for sure, but I'm just saying I'm skeptical. But here's a quote from Credible Crypto. Let's do it again. As long as price continues to close above $34,000 on the 3-week time frame, this hidden bullish divergence is likely to play out and send us to new all-time highs for Bitcoin. And then the piece continues. Even though Bitcoin's 50% correction from $69,000 is significant, Credible Crypto says that Bitcoin ultimately never formed a lower low, keeping its bullish market structure in the higher timeframes intact. And here's another quote from him. Not sure how this can be bearish when the last time we were at $30,000, we rallied to new all-time high. And this time, we haven't even made a lower low yet. Simple market structure. And then the piece continues. Zooming in on the lower time frames, the closely tracked analyst says that out of all the likely scenarios, Bitcoin is potentially forming a triangle bottom pattern. Credible says we should have confirmation of a bullish reversal within the next couple of days after Bitcoin surpasses $42,500, putting $45,000 in play as the next target. And again, for reference, Bitcoin at the time I record this, $42,445. So pretty much there, frankly. And here's another quote from him. An update to this idea. Daily demand held, and if we are seeing option 1 play out, the triangle structure may now actually already be complete. If this is the case, it will become very clear the next couple days, starting with a break of $42,500 and $45,000 shortly after. So at the time that I'm recording this, that's pretty much where we're at right now. And just for frame of reference, in case anybody's actually curious, it is Tuesday, March 22nd, 3:19 a.m. Yes, a.m., not p.m. I record at weird times. Why the hell not? I don't have any kids, right? At least not that I'm aware of anyway. So there we go. I'll go ahead and leave that there, but let me know what you think. In particular, I would love to hear what you guys think about the idea of the 4-year market cycle ending. Look, at some point, yeah. I mean, I think it's going to change. I mean, actually, arguably already, it's not. It's not that the structure changed. It's more like the length of market cycles has been increasing. So in that sense, you could argue, okay, fine. Yes, you could argue the 4-year cycle's dead. Fine. But in terms of the actual structure of it, is that dead? That I'm not so convinced of yet. Maybe it will end after we enter the next bear market, whenever that is. But I don't think we're there yet. I'm not a financial advisor. You should not buy or sell anything because of anything that I say or write. That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the moon, Lambo.